Welcome to the 6th video of our Basic Professional Toolkit series. If you haven't watched the first 5 videos, we recommend you do so before continuing with this one. In this video, we will be guiding you on how to approach creating your primary impression and differential diagnoses. Once you've done a comprehensive history and physical examination on your patient, the next step is to list down all the salient features of the case. Step 2 would be listing down possible conditions that fit the presentation of signs and symptoms of your patient. And step 3 would be narrowing down your list of differentials to the condition that confidently fit the illness script of your patient. Let's now apply these 3 steps to a more specific example. Let's go back to the patient ME. ME was a 24-year-old female who went for consultation due to a chief complaint of abdominal pain. The following are the salient features in her history and physical examination. In this table, salient features are categorized into either pertinent positives, which just means signs and symptoms that the patient has, and pertinent negatives, which are the signs and symptoms that the patient does not have. In approaching a patient with abdominal pain, important to note would be the location of the pain itself. To recall, we have different regions of the abdomen, and pain on these locations have different possible etiologies. But going back to our patient, she had specifically stated that her pain was in the epigastric area. Therefore, we can rule out the other conditions. Now we're on to step 2, that is, generating our differential diagnoses. Now, with our list of differentials, we can now proceed to eliminate the least likely diagnoses so that we can end up with the most likely diagnosis, which would then become our primary impression. In the elimination of the differentials, we take out those that cannot explain the clinical presentation of the patient. And this entails having at least general knowledge of the illness scripts of these conditions. An illness script is a summary of a disease that includes information about its epidemiology, time, course, clinical data, and pathophysiology. Acquiring and retaining illness scripts takes time and practice, and recounting the illness scripts of the following conditions would be too long for the purposes of this video. Therefore, we encourage you to make illness scripts of your own after watching the video. Now, let's try to create an illness script for our most likely differential, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. First, we must determine its epidemiology, which is basically asking the questions, who gets the disease? At this point, we would like to highlight the importance of getting your information from credible sources as to have a solid defense when questioned during your preceptorials. Next, we must determine the time course, or how the disease presents in relation to time. For GERD, the reflux symptoms tend to be chronic and intermittent, since it depends on exposures to trigger. Next, we consider the clinical presentation of the disease. The following are the common symptoms associated with GERD. Lastly, and most importantly, we consider the mechanism in which this condition comes about, or to put it plainly, its pathophysiology. For GERD, it is usually caused by a trigger such as food or drugs that cause abnormal and prolonged relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter. This abnormal relaxation can allow entry of stomach acid into the esophagus and cause the symptoms that were previously mentioned. We are now at the last step, our primary impression. Of course, it does not end here, and to truly confirm our diagnosis, additional diagnostic procedures would need to be done. In order to learn more about common diagnostics and screening tests, kindly watch the previous video regarding them. In summary, the steps in generating our primary impression and differential diagnoses are the following. Step number 1. List down the salient features. Step number 2. Generate your differential diagnoses. And step number 3. Primary impression. That's all we have for episode 6 of this mini-series. Thanks for watching, and we hope this helps you form accurate first impressions and differential diagnoses for each case you encounter. See you for our final episode of the Basic Professional Toolkit series.